For now, let's just have a review of triads. Because if you learn nothing else, and all you learn is root position triads for this class, that's totally acceptable. So thinking of a major triad, first of all, you can build one either by taking the bottom note or the root as the first note of a scale and building a major scale up from that note and using the first, third, and fifth note. And in fact, if you know the key signature for that scale, all you have to do is think of the key signature. Think of a first, third, and fifth note above that tonic and then apply a key signature to it. And that would give you a major triad. Another way to think of a major triad is to build a major third above the root and then a perfect fifth above the root. Or a major third above the root and then a minor third above that. So there are three different ways that you might build a major triad. You can pick any one of them, but I do recommend that you pick one. Now, let's talk about minor triads. Remember, you can either start with a major triad and then just lower the third to make it minor, or you can build a minor third above the root and then a perfect fifth above the root. Or you can build a minor third above the root and then a major third above that. Now let's review diminished triads. To build a diminished triad, you can either build a major scale, take the first, third, and fifth note of that, and then lower the third and the fifth each a half step. Or you can start from the root, build a minor third, and then a diminished fifth above that. Or you can take the root and build a minor third and then another minor third above that. Now let's talk about augmented triads. So you can either build an augmented triad by making a major scale and then raising the top note, or you can make a major third above the root and then an augmented fifth, or two major thirds stacked one on top of each other. So now the only thing that we have left to do is talk about how to identify triads, because so far we've been really focused on building them. So let's say we have a piece of music in the key of F major, and we see this triad in our music. Well, first of all, we have to remember that this flat applies to every B in our piece of music. So this triad is made up of B flat, D, and F. Now, how would you identify what kind of triad it is? Okay, we know it's in root position, right? Because we can see the thirds neatly stacked one on top of the other. If you see three notes all on consecutive spaces or lines, then you know your triad's in root position. So we know B flat is the root. How are we going to find out if it's major, minor, diminished, or augmented? Well, probably the easiest way is to build a B flat major triad and then compare what we have here to that. So let's see. If I want to do that, maybe I'll think of a major third above B flat, and that would give me D, and a perfect fifth above B flat, and that would give me F. So actually this is a B flat major triad. Now let's try another one. Okay, so we know A is the root. I'm going to start by thinking of an A major triad. So in A major, I would have a C sharp and an E, right? Because A to C sharp is a major third, and A to E is a perfect fifth. But I have a C natural. So that means this is still a perfect fifth, so I know it's not a diminished or augmented triad, right? If I see a perfect fifth, I know immediately it's either major or minor, because a diminished triad would have a diminished fifth, and an augmented triad would have an augmented fifth. So this is either major or minor, and I said to be major, it would have C sharp C is lowered a half step. That makes this a minor third. So this is a minor triad, A minor to be exact. Now we're still in our key of F, so we still have the B flat. We know E is the root here. And we're going to think of E major. So in E major we would have a G sharp, and this is a G natural, so that's been lowered. And in E major we'd have a B, and this is a B flat, because remember we have a B flat in our key signature. So both the third and the fifth are a half step lower than they would be in a major triad. So what kind of triad is this? Diminished. Now actually, in a key, as you may remember, or you can see if you go back to the chapter that covered scale degree names, in every major key, certain chords built on certain notes are always major, and chords built on other scale degrees are always minor. And there's one that's always diminished, and that's the 7th scale degree. We're in F major, so this is the 7th scale degree, E, right? The one right before F. So if we're in a key, we can always just refer to that to help us, because it's always going to follow that rule if there are no accidentals. But we might not be in a key sometimes, so let's just do a few without a key signature. Okay, so tell me what kind of triad that is. What kind of a third do we have from F to A? Flat. Minor. And what kind of a fifth do we have from F to C? Perfect. So what kind of a triad is that? Minor. This is F minor. Now, some students like to just look at the relationship between the root and the fifth first. Because if it was diminished, well, right now we're in a controlled environment, right? We're in a classroom, and so you know that everything I give you is going to be some kind of triad. So if you see a diminished fifth, then you automatically know it's a diminished triad, and you don't even have to look at the third. Or if you see an augmented fifth, then you automatically know it's an augmented triad, and you don't have to look at the third. But of course, in real life, sometimes there's music where there's a diminished fifth and something else, and it's not any kind of triad at all. However, for a class, that's not a bad strategy. It could save you some time. For example, here, if I look from G to D flat, I immediately know that's a diminished fifth. So I could just assume this is a G diminished triad.